Now.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, perfect. So, welcome everyone to the first episode of the Shukla Talks with Captain Pranav Prasoon Thakur. Uh, Basically, the title of this talk is a transition from military to civilian careers, and basically, Captain Pranav Prasoon Thakur was in the Indian Army. And today we're going to hear his story about the book he has authored, the book he's going to author in the upcoming future, um, and a lot of the challenges that he's overcome, as well as the experiences he's brought to the table from the military side of his career into the automotive world. And so therefore, okay, I'm going to invite you, Captain. Um, You're on video. We're all on video. We're on Twitter Spaces live. Whoever wants to join can join.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Shubham.
Right.
Thank you, Shubham.
This is
Thank you
the
for a
book.
great initiative.
Yep. This is the book. It's called The Fallen Few. We're gonna start off with the book. Uh, the first quote in the book is "Scattered in the dust, silent I remain. When India's bugle calls, I will rise again." Together they lived and died together. And it's a very good read. It took me about 3 days of reading, and I finished this up. But anyway, the book is on video here, The Fallen Few. You can buy it on Amazon if you'd like, and various other portals. So, Captain, welcome again. Our
Thank you,
first
Shubham.
question is, take us through what motivated you to write this beautiful piece of literature. And then, although you mentioned that the characters were fictional, how close to reality were they? That's what everybody's asking.
Thank you, Shubham. And it is a great initiative. I must congratulate you for this. And my brother from another mother. So about the book, it is like for any a personnel in army, that love for the motherland, whichever country you serve. It is that something extra which you bring to the table. And unknowingly we have a demarcation, right? You have people in the forces, you call them as a warrior or a soldier, and then you have the civilian forces, civilian people, right? So that was the first demarcation what we come to, and we made a choice, all of us, whichever country, whichever so-called forces we work with. So we made a choice, all of us, and we said that we will take the flag the way it has to flutter, upheld with the honor and pride, and that's how we all did. This book was not something great which I chose to do. It just happened, because once you're working together, in the forces, everyone has a story, and you have on those days and the evenings and the nights, and every day is the last day. Like you don't know tomorrow you'll survive or not, and that story, everyone's, when you're connecting with them, the story keeps on building. And it was when few of us we met in young officers course, and the story started from there, and we share all the pains, we share all the pride, we shared all the love for the nation, and how this camaraderie, this belongingness takes us from one sect to another, and how we evolve. Being a soldier is a different genre altogether, and how we all evolve, and how we take the country forward. So that was the feeling. uh, uh, I will not say it is patriotic. It is realistic. It can be associated by any soldier who is serving for the mother nation, and it is true. It is talking about the choices. It is talking about those hard decisions what you make, and even if you don't come back home, you are happy being rolled in that flag and come back home. So the genesis comes from there. And I thought that if I bring this to anyone who wants to not only know that so-called great stories of a soldier, but the feeling of a soldier, can associate and can would love to read it. So that was very true from a soldier's heart. And if you see the last poem which I wrote, and which with which the book ends, when we all are standing in front of the heaven's door and the god tells that you are too dirty and you are not allowed inside, and we still say, knocking at the heavens door, that still we will knock because we love you more, and we are here to whatever we are, that's what we did. So that is something beautiful, and it is about the camaraderie, it is about the people, it is about every soldier who has taken this decision to serve their mother nation. So that's what it is.
I enjoyed the part where you used basically a quote from the Upanishad. On page 154, you said, I murmured my last prayer. From the unreal, lead me to the real. From darkness, lead me to light. From death, lead me to immortality. Right?
Yeah.
And then right before that, on page 154, the Bhagavad Gita, and you mentioned the soul is neither born nor does it die, nor does it become idle only after being born. It is unborn, eternal, constant, and ancient. It is not killed even when the body is slain. I mean, this speaks the truth, right? This is very
Yeah.
real. And the fact that I guess you connected your whole tenure in the army with the truth of our ancient scriptures, that's incredible. And you've gone on
Yes,
and
Shubham.
obviously quoted it many other times in other pages. So that's very interesting. So basically, patriotism, and you wanted to bring the feeling of what it means to be a soldier to the common person, right? Regardless of
Yeah.
um, regardless of which organization you're part of, basically.
Yeah.
Now, one question is, and I've asked you this before, and I know you kind of deferred my question, but you mentioned that the characters were fictional, and you don't have to disclose the reality. But how close was it to the reality? Like you made the names fictional. Was the story? The story was real, right?
uh, yes, and no.
Okay.
See you. So you can allow me.
Yes.
So we all have many personalities inside us, and as I mentioned, this book is so close to me. It is so true, and that's what this is, a gift from a soldier to anyone. And we all are soldiers in our own lives. It's not that a person who is standing on the borders, or defending a nation as a soldier. We all are soldiers in our own life, and it is for every one of us, for those who make a choice to stand in front, and who wants to make some change, right? But if I have to be true, most of the characters, they're really they're the real characters.
Right.
They're my friends, my good friends. Bana is very close to me. Gillu, Riyar are very close to me. Vaibhav Pandey is very close to me. So all those names are written. No,
But the
but of course
closest,
I never.
the closest of all is chapter 11, where it says Colonel's daughter.
Yeah. No,
I
you
mean,
caught
that's
me
the
there.
closest. That's the closest character, right?
Yeah. So
And this,
things moves on, but of course I have my writer hat, who had to bring the things to a rightful start or a closure. And yes, not people should be affected. That was one thing. So I wanted to bring all the mix, and of course it is a book. It is a fictional one, but yeah,
but it leaves the
you
reader.
caught me in a wrong place, but it is very difficult to answer, Shubham.
That's
But yeah,
fine. I think you've
things are
answered it.
true, and
I think you've answered. It leaves the
yeah.
reader. It leaves like the end of the. Well, I think every chapter leaves the reader a little engaged into what's coming into the next chapter, and then towards the end of the book, the way you've crafted your story, whether it's fictional or not, will let the audience decide. The way you've crafted it is like, okay, what's next? What comes next now? What's
Thank you,
after
Shubham.
when I died? What's next? So we're gonna ask you those questions towards the end of this conversation on your new book. But
Sure, Shubham.
if you were to basically say, if you were to give us one message, or give the readers a message that you're trying to convey in this book, how would you frame that? What would you say? What's the basic message of this?
I think I wrote that in the reason of writing this book, and being a soldier is a choice, right? And that's what I say. Uh, when you say any country, these soldiers, we soldiers are defending. There is a lot of responsibility which happens in the nights and the days, and there is always a choice. choice to retreat, choice to not stand by the procedure, choice to be weak. Yeah, and we take the choice, we take the opposite, we be strong, we be standing there in all the odds. The only message which I bring here, and there is a poem here in the, I think in the second last chapter, which I say those unknown, and which says, just the gist, the summary is, uh, any guy dying anywhere defending the nation should not be forgotten. And they have died not their own deaths, but they have died your deaths. And that is one thing which I want to bring. um, we have to be grateful. We have to be uh, taking this profession, all of us, in very high regards. And if not, at least salute the sacrifice which these guys, any soldier, does. And that is a small thing which I want to bring. And as I mentioned, it's not the soldier who defends the nation. We all are soldiers in our own life, and anyone who stands with courage and does such thing should be respected, should be honored, and should not be forgotten. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what I want to bring to this book. Yeah.
I like that you mentioned the poem. It's on page 147. The title is Those
Yeah.
Unknown. And actually, you're the one who authored this poem, right?
Yes. Yes.
Back when you were a lieutenant.
Yeah.
We're going to let the readers read this on their own time. But I know I read it a few times. And yeah, I mean, okay. I think the basic message is pretty clear.
Yeah. Thank you,
Um,
Shubham.
One last thing that I want to mention, that it's in the, obviously at the back of the book. You mentioned that my father said that I'll make him proud by doing a great job. However, nobody knew where I was headed. And these men have brought tears in the eyes of their father when they touched their father's feet in the olive green uniform. But soon, all of them have sacrificed their lives, but no one cared. There's no repose. They were not the sons of a lesser father or stars of a lesser sky. They were also a part of young India, but had a passion which was higher, and a devotion for their mother nation. They were they were called the soldiers of Mother India. They were the fallen few, the chosen ones. So this is what really resonates. Like at the end of the book, this kind of this this is what sticks with the reader, and I mean I enjoyed reading it. So thank you.
Thank you, Shubham.
Okay, very
Thanks a lot.
nice. So guys, we've talked about the book. Now we're gonna kind of move into how the captain decided to transition into the civilian careers, what challenges he had, and then what he thought he brings to the table, and how he's leading a team of professionals in a global automotive company today in the human resources sector. So the first question is, how does a person start thinking about this transition when he's in the military or she's in the military, and what goes through the person's mind?
Mhm.
Like when you're thinking about this transition, when you're thinking about exiting.
So I'll keep it this way. See, every day is a choice. Every moment is a choice, and to be or not to be is a choice, which I take it very close to my heart. So army was a profession, and 6 years in the army, I was quite comfortable, to be honest. Rather, my CEO, my colonel, used to say that, all the tough days are over, and now is the time to relax and enjoy the way it is. Um, so I had to make decisions, because I was, if you're living army as a profession, army, for me, army is not a profession. It is, army is a passion, right? And it is very close to my heart, and that's how I was trained by a para commando. I carry very strong ethos inside me, and honestly, I'm very ruthless on me. I don't have any mercy on me, so that's how I am. And I said that me being comfortable is not the way which I want to conduct myself as. And I told that, okay, now if I again have to start from the scratch, that would be a beautiful feeling, right? So
So you want to
that's
challenge
how
yourself further.
yeah. So challenging, and of course, once you come, I was married then, and you know, I had to make a call that this is the way the life should go, or I have to take a detour. And there was all the mixed things. And of course, the army is always very close to me, and any person who has wore the uniform, army is very close to them, whichever country they serve for. Shubham, I think that's how you also carry, and even Canadian army. But for all of us who wore the uniform, it is very close to all of us. to to make a decision is like leaving your long the first love which you have, and you do a breakup and you move on. But actually the first love is very close and you cannot move on. That's how the love keeps on happening, and number of times. So that's what it is. And I came to civil. The first thing is, you asked me that how you make a decision. The making a decision, which I told, that there is uh, that purity of working. And you say that if passion is becoming a profession, you want to sit on the ease, then it is not justified, because that was not you wore the uniform for. And that's how I make a call. And then I moved up, of course. And I had a choice. I had to make a choice, and government of India allows you to take a decision that would you want to carry on, you want to continue. And I chose to carry on. So that's what it is. Post that, things was quite rhetoric, because once you come to the civil world, it is complete a madness, because you had been away from this world since quite some time. It is like a kid, entering the dorm again. It's like
Right, right.
that. And you have to learn everything. You have to learn every word. You have to learn your conduct. And we have some courses which allows you for that. So that was sort of a, in army also, if you have to change, the locations, and if you suddenly enter the counter insurgency and counter terrorism area, you have something called PIT. You have conducted, you get that training to conduct yourself in a different atmosphere, in the different environment, in the different surroundings. So I say that training was given to us. It was to orient us to the civil life,
Okay, good.
to learn the lingos,
That's
to
actually one
learn
of the
the
questions that we had for you. What resources are available, and such.
okay.
So when you were
So yeah.
like towards the transition point, um, what was going through your mind? Were you like, I think I have served enough. I think I have done what I thought I needed to do, and now I think I need to expand further into the civilian sector. Like, was it like an immediate decision that came upon you, or was it sort of like a transition over a few months where you were thinking about it? Do you want to stay? Do you want to, exit?
No, as I mentioned, army is like your first love. When we all join in whichever country we serve, as young cadets or young soldiers, young officers. The first love doesn't. Actually, I say there's no quitting your first love. It continues, right? So
You
there is
can't,
no choice
right?
that okay, you have done enough and you have to leave it. It doesn't happen. The first love will be your first love throughout. It is the way it is.
Right.
But it's not that it is too much or it is too less. Serving the nation is always, it cannot be too more. it,
Okay.
it will be always be too less, because you are born in that soil, and everything which you stand for, it is given by the nation, which you say, that boundary which you are defending. That's what it is. So it is never too less or too more. It is the thing, right?
You can't define it.
Yeah, you cannot define it. But the thing is, I thought, and I was honestly blessed with excellent bosses, what we say in civil life. My colonels, they gave me maximum exposure. Excellent people. They are quite senior now, and they're still like my fathers, all three of them, and they're very close to me. They exposed me to maximum operations. So that's what it is, and they hardened me to what I am today. And That's what the love is so strong that you don't want to leave. But the thing is, somewhere, as I mentioned, when the passion is becoming a profession, you have to take a call and you say that no, this is my first love, and the first love has to be first love. It cannot be anything lesser than that. So
Right.
that was the feeling, if I tell you. And yes, I thought, honestly, if you say, Shubham, that what the thought came in my mind, I thought whatever I've learned here, can I go and teach the same thing to the people who are out there?
Great.
And that was, I think, some that the first thought, which was the thought of transition, that whatever learnings which we all get from the forces, if we bring to the other side of the world, that purity, that thing of courage, uh, in this time of COVID, that resilience, that,
Right, right, right,
you can kill me but I won't die. It's
right.
all, the enemy is also having the same weapon, you're also having the same weapon, right?
Okay.
But and the firepower is the same, but you say that you won't die, and even if you're hit, that is something which we all are learning this time, because
Right.
COVID is coming, we all are getting affected. That resilience, that courage, that
So you
coming
wanted to
out, that
bring, you
face.
wanted to basically
Yes,
transfer that knowledge, right?
yes,
Over.
yes.
I think that's a very good viewpoint there. Okay, very nice. So, moving into the next question, what were some of the immediate challenges that you faced, or that that one may be prepared to face, or should be prepared to face, because the transition isn't easy. So, like as you get into the
Correct.
civilian sector, like what are these first few days or weeks look? What do they look like? Do people look at you
Oh,
differently? Are there
yeah.
expectations?
So yeah, Shubham, because you also come in the similar fashion. The first thing is a lot of hollowness. Somewhere, we start becoming fearful, all of us, whenever there is a change, right? And uh, we want to become the masses, uh, but our training makes us different. We are not normal general human being. They say that, uh, uh, in India, generally, we all are posted near to our adversary, Pakistan, and you say that, in JNK, if you're posted there, they say that, you can leave the valley, but valley will not leave you.
Right.
So
Okay.
somewhere you carry that sense of, and your muscle memory will be inside you, and you will not be in a very relaxed stage. So that's how it is. You're a soldier coming from operation. All of us would have seen operation somewhere or the other. So that operation doesn't leave you. So in psychology, you have the post trauma, sort of syndrome. So you carry it, and because your muscle memory is tuned to that, because a soldier have to overpower those things every time. So you are
Right.
never relaxed, you are always on your toes. Something is on it, and your response is to win every time. But in civil sector, you cannot be winning,
You
so
can't be
somewhere.
winning.
Yeah.
You
So
can't be winning
somewhere
so
you say you have,
frequently.
yeah, so you somewhere you have to mitigate, somewhere you have to be playing down those things. We have our own kicks at the back to understand those things. But initial, I'll not say days or months, actually years, were like, uh, to relax ourselves. That is something, that hollowness, that anxiety, that's because once you have a lifestyle you are living. And I say army is a mindset. Army is a style of living, right? You change your style. You cannot be a different person. It's like, uh, any profession. For example, if for example there is a cricketer, uh, there is a firefighter, there is a businessman, there's a
Right.
writer. He comes back, he leaves everything and comes to the normal self. And you say that now you have to live a life without doing that thing which you used to do yesterday. It is quite difficult for all of us, because we all are tuned like that, right? We all are soldiers. You kill us, but still we'll bleed olive green. No, that's how we are. it
Right.
is it is very difficult to leave that self. And they'll say that you cannot bring the baggage, because many people likes you for that. We all have our own stories, we all our own thinking, we all our own victories, we all have our own losses, right? We all our own failures. And we were quite happy with that, because people used to respect us and honor us because of whatever we used to be. And then you say that you leave all those things and you come to to a different place and start again like a novice. So that is something which is, because you are judged here, because you, everything which comes, every person here is seeing you, from in binary, one or zero. Okay, he's fit or he's not fit. It comes like that. And yeah, we are not used to that. Any soldier is made to be winning. He belongs to whichever country. Yeah. We are trained like that. The adversaries have to be compromised. That's what we are taught. So these things are very very difficult to make anyone understand.
So how long did
But
it
yeah,
take you to, how long did it take you to I guess understand that okay, now I am relaxed in the civilian sector. Now, this is my game now. Because initially it was challenging, like you're saying, right? People look at you differently. There's different perceptions. You can't have the whole winning strategy 24/7. Things don't get done as quickly as you'd like them to get done. So it takes time, right? But how long did it take for the graph to plateau and be like, okay, now the captain is
it's
relaxed.
relaxed.
Now I know everything's on cruise control.
I don't know, no, Shubham, to be true, and if I have to be true here, um, that will never happen till the time you die or till the time you're reborn again, because once it is too deep inside your DNAs, right? To every response which comes to you, you have to outperform it and you have to win that. So currently, that is how you are as a human being, okay, as a human animal, the way we all are, the guys from the forces. But we subdue it. We live a life of duality, actually. So you have the soldier one, and the soldier one will be the first one who will be giving you the response.
Right, right,
And over the period of time you say that, okay, I heard you, but let's do like this.
right.
And yeah, you carry with that thing. So maybe it is like that. For example, I'll tell you a simple thing. uh, a typical army guy, a guy from any forces from across the world, would have a sort of exemplary discipline, right? If the meeting starts at dot, let's say 9 hours, the guy will be there at maybe 8:55, and that's how it is. And
But in the civilian sector, you'll find people coming at like 9:05,
and they,
nine
and
ten.
unknowingly, that is offending this guy.
Right, right.
And we say that, oh, guy, okay, come on, relax, you should not react to that. But unknowingly it affects him. It affects him to the core. It is as simple as that. Maybe if there is a business meeting, the guy is maybe dressed up in complete formals, and a guy who is coming in casuals, he's not okay with it. I'm
He's
not
not.
okay, you are not okay, and any soldier is not okay, because we are trained to be the way you are. That's how it is. A meeting demands it, right? And it's not okay. But you tell yourself that, okay, you hand slap yourself and say, no, no, come on, yeah, it's fine. Things are different
Even,
here. But
I'll relate to this. Even like myself, I have to sometimes tone myself down
yeah,
in the because of the two lives that I'm living. But yeah, I mean, you have to tone yourself down. You can't just expect everybody to be so disciplined or right on time, and it'll actually work against you if you
yeah,
continue your pursuit of excellence like you have in the army. So interesting. That's a very good, like, it's a small point, but it's very relevant, I think. You
yeah,
know, are you dressed properly, or are you joining the meeting on time in this virtual world? So okay, very interesting. Any other challenges that you're actually, let me rephrase this. Did you end up pursuing an MBA, I think, at in Lucknow, right, at the Indian Institute of Management? Was
yes,
that after you had exited
yes,
from the
yes, yes.
army? Okay,
No, that
so
was portion in and portion out.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's what it was. Okay, interesting. So did that teach you some of the stuff that you are implementing now to
yeah.
keep yourself relaxed?
Yeah, they teach you a lot of things, but again, as I mentioned, army is like it changes your DNA, and any course further cannot do any difference to you.
Right.
But you take it. Yeah, it's like changing the shirts and changing the suits and changing the apparels. So that's how it is. But inside you are naked, and the naked self is what you are. So naked, you are olive green. In Indian army, we the color which we use it is olive green, and inside you bleed olive green. So it would not be different. But as I mentioned, yes, of course, you have your lives of duality. You come to the civil world, you have the civil version of you, which you have trained that, okay, don't react to this, okay, things are fine, don't. uh, in any academia, now I'm also doing my PhD in any academia. uh, it's not that what type of people are studying. They have their syllabus, they have the things behind it, and they conduct accordingly, right? So I'll give you a small anecdote. First, I was the heartthrob for all the HR,
Right,
professors and
right.
lecturers, and who used to teach us OD and those things, organizational development and organizational behavior.
Yep.
So I just jumped and went to her, and I told, ma'am, I'm a guy who is completely dedicated for leadership development, and I know how leadership is done. And I gave many examples, like this is how we have done leadership in forces and blah blah blah. And please take me in your team, and we will go and do these ODs across the industries, and
Right.
I want to be part of this team.
Hmm.
And she gave me like a hug, like a big mother, big mama, and she told me, Pranav, I know that you guys have done great leadership, but these guys don't understand your lingo, these guys don't understand your context, these guys don't understand your examples. So first is you have to work there, you have to understand their lingo, understand their styles, understand their thinking. And once you align accordingly, and then you position your examples, your thinking, your context, they will listen to you. But if you say today they will accept you, they will not accept you. They don't accept you because you're a different field altogether. People
Very good
don't
point.
know you. Yeah. So this was one anecdote which I wanted to tell you. We are different people, we are not normal general people. Our thinking, our thought processing is completely different. And whatever academia you join, as I mentioned, you wear a lot of clothes, but inside the naked self you will bleed olive green. You will be, your color will be olive green, right? So
In
that's how it
Canada,
is.
in Canada, you bleed maple syrup.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, there is a story in your book where I think the character is either in Bombay or Pune or Bangalore at a bar, and it's like a group
Yeah.
of officers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think somebody from the civilian side starts questioning you guys on how much money you make or whatever. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, there's a fellow officer of yours that just gets up and gives like a speech, right?
Yeah.
And the guy on the other end of the table is just like staring at you, like, oh,
Yeah.
how did this happen? That was a very interesting story. Um, do you have anything to share on that?
Thank you, Shubham. So that guy talking was me, but yeah, a few things I fabricated here and there. But yeah, it is. As I mentioned now, civil. The only one thing which defines you is your status, right? The only thing which you defines you is which car you drive and which house you stay and how much money do you make. uh, but but in army it is not like that. It's not even the stars which you carry or the emblem which you wear, or which so-called elite army you belong or non-elite you belong. The only thing which you defines you is how much courage do you have. And it is what it is, and that's how we all connect. The forces of across the nation connects. And even if you have done operations, not done operations, you're a civilian monk or a civilian warrior or whatever you are, your courage defines you. And the courage makes you a soldier, and the training makes you a soldier, because we all face those odd days of life, your tough days of your life, and you say, no, I will not give up, and I'll carry on from there. And that's how the soldiering is done, right? So yeah, when you come to those circumstances, and when you come, and it is quite obvious, we all judge each other. The way we connect, the what you wear, and what how much you pay, and what car you come from, on which war, what you wear, and all those things. uh, but we all, as a human being, as a capable human being, as the effective and efficient human being, we are far beyond that, right? And that's what I wanted to bring in that anecdote or that story. that it's not you have a BMW which is bought by your dad,
Right.
but I have a tank which the government of India gives me, and
Right.
if
Right.
I
Right.
give if I give an order, so can all tanks fire on my command, and that's how I am, and that's how we all are, and
I think that was a
that's how,
response in that specific
yeah,
section, right, of the story.
yeah.
I forgot about that actually. That's a yeah, okay. I was talking more about how the camaraderie worked and how the fellow officers just came, you know, and surrounded you guys and said,
Oh
"Listen,
yeah.
man, get out of here." I forgot about the tank story. Could you remind me
So
of that?
that is I what they say, the brotherhood, the brothers in arm, the course, flavor, the unity. I think it goes beyond the borders. I think I just few days back, for example, I connected with you. I connected with some officers in Dhaka. I connected with a lot of them in US or Russia and all. Uh, uh, I'll give you example. Here in India, I came across. I'll not mention the brand. I'll give you two examples. One guy is the sales head of a premium luxury car segment, the sales head, and he's a Marine commando, right? And
Oh,
first thing we connected, and he also bought my book, and I told him that you go and buy the book. Maybe somewhere you will connect with your old young days,
right.
and we connect like in Ziffy. We connect in like this. That's how it is. And see, this it is a different genre. It is different feeling. That's why I say army is a mindset.
Yes.
Army is facing you with the courage. Army is evolving from what you were to what you can become. Yeah.
True.
And it lives with you. It doesn't, as I mentioned, there are two lives. So you are the army self, which says, and then there's a civil guy you tamed and all those things. But that guy is the wild one, the unleashed potential. That is something different, and we all carry in our so-called formals, in our tuxedos,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
it very cleverly, that you don't want to show it, because that guy is a wild guy and that guy can do great things, but you control it, because people don't want to see that.
Very good point. I mean, yeah, you have to like the way you and I connected was I don't even remember how it happened, but I remember reading the book. I remember you telling me you got to read this book. And so I bought it
Thank you,
and it
Shubham.
took me 3 days. And after 3 days, I was texting you, I was saying, man, I can relate to this. A lot of these stories are very real. And then I sent it to my my colleagues, certain sections of the book, certain chapters, certain lines, and everybody was texting
Thank
me
you.
back laughing. They're like, yeah, oh man, this is so true.
Thank you, Shubham.
Okay, this is great. I think this dialogue is going on pretty well. Let's move on. uh, Across the world with this whole virtual reality that's coming up, I solely believe that this isn't new. Of course, we've had this for so long, whether it's in the army or in the civilian side. Virtual stuff has been going on. Not everybody goes to work every day. You have options, remote working and all that. So keeping that in mind and keeping in mind what's needed in the future in terms of skills, right? um for people to succeed in this new era, I guess, what sort of skills do you think were transferable, be it analytical, leadership, or the core areas from your background in the army? What sort of skills were transferable into the civilian side? Was it more leadership that you brought to the table, or was it a mix of analytical and leadership? Like you said, tanks were under your command. So obviously you don't just fire tanks in your sleep. There's a lot of planning that goes on. So was it analytical? Was it leadership? Or was it a specific area that you bring to the civilian side that's beneficial to the new organization? We can
Okay.
talk about the skills.
Okay, sure. So one skill which will come and plenty would be the people skill,
People skill.
right? And because we all work in teams, and the teams work for us, and they are ready to die for you. It is as clean and as pure as that. uh, so I bring a lot of things from there. Now, people skill is a very blanket sort of a thing, and everyone would like to charge on me and shoot on me that, Pranav, what do you mean by people scale? The first thing which comes in that is integrity. Yeah, and people will not follow you if in civil you say integrity is what you do you say and what you say you do.
True.
That is what, if you say, if you have the psychometries, defining your this skill set of integrity, SHLs and the Hayes of the world, they define it like that. For us, integrity was, the way we do the drills, right? And the drill instructor comes and trains you that your dress should be like this, and it has to be like that, and you cannot fudge it. You cannot, do any shortcut, for the dress or the conduct to be the dialect, or your the way you stamp, or the way you salute, or the way you conduct yourself. It is trained, and that's what I say, that these things are so much ingrained in you that you cannot, the finesse is so much of is there inside you, you cannot undo it. It's
Okay.
like getting born again. So integrity, what is taught there, if you bring the entire integrity here, uh, uh, it is like, the simplest thing which I mentioned is joining a meeting at 8:55 when the meeting is at 9, and you're all prepared. You know what you want to talk, and you know that what decisions has to be made, and you know how you will utilize the time, and you know that those people who got offended in the meeting because their points were disrespected, how will you motivate them? So this is the people skill. You know that the decision which was taken, how it will be taken to the next level, and how that OKR or the KPI will transform from there. Yeah, if those decisions go on the defining of some strategy, right? So the first thing which I mentioned was integrity. The second thing which I mentioned was too close to the forces people, resilience. Here it is taught as business continuity planning, but
The words are
COVID was,
different, but the message is the same.
yes. And in army we used to call it contingency planning, the
Right,
the
right.
risk management, what we used to call it. But post COVID, like, this word got viral called resilience. Oh my god, everyone is talking about resilience and how you make the resilience workforce and all those things
Resilient
happening.
supply chain,
Yeah,
resilient
yeah.
economy,
So
resilient
so
teams.
yeah, so, and you have the philosophies and all these consultants coming and frustrating you to the core, that you have 10 principles of resilience and 20, conducts, and oh my god, it is crazy. Now for us, resilience was so simple, uh, that you will not die.
True.
It is like fighting back. Yeah. And fighting back, how it happens, that you take care of the person who is in front of you, who is behind you, who is to the left of you and to the right of you, and that every guy does it, the entire force is intact,
It's an
no one dies.
atomic structure, right? It just
Yeah, yeah,
expands.
yeah. So it was so simple, it was so beautiful, it was so uh, integrated inside. It was like so much of upheld. But I heard the same word, and in a very different situation, and everyone was so scared. How can I teach you courage? How can I teach you courage? I cannot teach you courage till the time you face it. You have a virus who is sitting outside, and everyone will have the virus. But in this entire virus, and an entire, so if I say courage, the if I take back to the forces, the risk was there for all of us, whichever country you were defending, right? When you went for an operation, the same risk was there. You can die, I can die, anyone can die.
Yep.
But you stood and you said that I will not, before you die I will die. And then
Right.
that's how we make the decision, right? So when we started opening up, when we said that, okay, let's open the offices, there come the leadership. Then you say the leaders, that every leader should be first going to office. And when the leader starts going to the office, for example, I told my MD that first person to be coming to the office is me and you. And once me and you comes, then we'll say all the HODs to come to the office. When all the HODs comes to the office, I'll say all the, also call the managers to the come, people managers to come to, when the people managers comes to office, every employee starts coming to office. It takes time, not everyone are at the same level,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
people are dying. We have our different examples. This is a very funny virus who are killing. I had COVID in 2020, and the wave one thing were different from wave two, and wave two is different from wave three, and the way it happens. So if you can allow people to be fearful, to be scared, to be uh, to be not coming to office, but how will you teach them courage is by leading by examples.
Right.
And this is what we bring again back from there. So I told you three important things: integrity, it is leading by example, and resilience. These are the three skills I think one must carry on from here.
And
Is
you've mentioned in this book, or it's mentioned in this book, that you've trained more than 50,000 students and employees in leadership and resilience, right?
Yeah.
You've also been acknowledged as one of the top HR minds in India by the World Human Resource Development Congress, World HRD Congress.
Yeah.
And you have been the leader of people strategies and initiatives for over 16 years. So I think there's not much more to say when somebody reads 50,000 students. That's amazing. So that's okay. What about like I'm sure you're not the only one that's transitioned like this. You probably know other colleagues of yours that were from maybe the Navy, Coast Guard, Army, Air Force.
Yeah.
You're bringing leadership and integrity. I'm sure you're also bringing an analytical side that you may not want to discuss right now, and that's fine. But do you know people that are also bringing like strategic planning type of skills? Like, let's say we're designing a car, right? I'll give you an example. And our launch date is 5 years from now. The conceptual definition will take about a year and a half. Then your core design will start a year and a half later. Now you're into like 2.5 years. Now you need to get into like the tool development and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden you're at like 4 years, and now you're at tool kickoff and you're launching, right? So the whole 5 year span. Similarly, sure, in the armed forces, there's strategic planning. Have you seen, or do you know of your colleagues or anybody else that you've been in touch with? Do people bring those skills as well? Basically, like project management, I guess. It doesn't even have to be too
Right.
analytical. Like
Yeah.
project
So
management, because that's a big requirement, right, nowadays? Or it's
yeah.
always been, I guess.
Yeah. So that is quite that's quite cliche, because any guy from the forces, few things come very natural, very
Natural.
organically,
Yeah,
organic in them. Project management, they have trained named it here. Operations, or operational management, they name it here.
true.
But it's the day-to-day life, right? We need not put the Gantt chart and see how it happens. Our mind says that this project cannot be done because there is some issue with the timelines, and yeah, because the people, the thing, and you just go there and say, okay guys, I don't think this is going to happen because you will risk yourself, and that's say, okay, come on Pranav, how can you telling this? Because that's all those people you see there, their efficiency, the thing, and you have your calculation on timelines, and you say it cannot be done in this time, and you have the same representation here in different forms and fashion.
Okay.
And the thing is that beautiful points you mentioned out. Analytical skills today, I'll not say it is the skill you bring, it is there, you have to be,
You have to have it,
and
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it is. You cannot say you bring or not. If you have to survive, you have to have statistics, you have to have analytical skills, right? When we started, this entire COVID is an example.
Right.
People started getting affected, not affected. You have the numbers, you have the things happening, and this even wave one to wave two, and when it will peak and when it will come down, and the entire philosophy is working on the entire the genesis
Mm-hmm.
of these waves, and the vaccination is happening with the entire analytical skills which we have. Again, I say it comes very organically in us, but yes, the tools today here, what we see is completely different. It is sometimes maybe far more advanced than what we carry on there.
But don't you think
It
sometimes when we get too advanced in basic requirements, it's overkill? You know what I mean? Like I
uh,
like the fact that you mentioned Gantt charts and all that. I'll give you an
yeah.
example. When I'm launching like a new product in an automotive company, I know how long tool design and development will take. I just know it because I know the tool shops. like based on experience and history. I don't need to have a Gantt chart to tell me this is gonna come here, this is gonna happen, then this. I can give like an approximation, right? Okay, now if 52 weeks is not enough and we need this in 38 weeks, then what are the enablers? And you already, so I like the fact that you're saying it doesn't need to be too complicated. Experience will obviously will come to the table.
But
And
Shubham, as you're bringing this, can I add something? Again, leaders here are different. Okay, I see very pseudo leaders, false leaders who don't have courage to face it. So they will tell you to follow the processes, and till and that is the reason I mentioned this Gantt charts and all, because for us it is very organically coming. You not understand the Gantt chart, you know that this is not going to happen.
yeah,
And they are so much like, you have even various countries who
right.
who are killing themselves with the processes. Till the time you don't, even they can kill the project, but if you don't follow the process, they will not allow you to go to the next step. And you know
True.
that which countries I'm mentioning, and I'm referring to. So for them, the following the processes is most important than, the timeline or whatever it is. So plus you have the leaders. Now we all leaders, as I mentioned, leading from the exam, from the front and leading by example. uh, how many of them can come and own the leadership and own the situation, that okay, the captain of the ship dies with the ship? It doesn't happen, right? So we all say that
Very
we all
good
are
point.
project, okay, this,
Yeah.
yeah, so this project somehow I have to make it success. I don't care what happens to the next project, right? And the next project guys are also facing problem, because maybe the engine homologation was not done in the way it has to be, and the ripple effects which,
Right.
so and no one cares. It's like, this is my project, let's do this thing and in time, and let's get the product out in the market. But would it, the ripple effect, it's like butterfly effect. You can't get something and something else is getting affected, and day before, day after tomorrow, you'll fall on the face. So no one is ready to own this. And but for us, the guy who's sitting there and the guy who's commanding there, the general, we all are in tandem.
True.
And I know that what he wants to do, and he knows that what I'm capable of doing. So I will not talk more on that. But yes, the true
I know what you're
leadership
talking.
somewhere I feel it is strongly missing here. Yeah.
So basically ownership, right? Own your
Yeah.
problems, own the
Accountability and
results.
ownership.
Yeah, own the results and be able be ready to, explain the results. Okay, very nice. I think we've see the next question was like having military experience. What does a person in this transition bring to the civilian team? I think we've already talked about that. Do you
Yeah.
want to talk about maybe very briefly one value or two values that are core to your heart? I know you've mentioned integrity, but anything specific? What value system have you changed the culture, or have you influenced the culture in your immediate team in the automotive world?
Yeah. um One thing which is again, very cliche, I'll say, is dedication. uh we, if something is given to us, we don't look left, right, we are into it, right? We don't ask. So I know that this sentence which I'll tell you is spoken in every army. You say that the senior is always right, and if he is not, uh, go to the option, the option one, where he's always right. So here we love questioning. We are in too deep, in affection and love with that. The thing is, sometimes, the thing happens and you have to go with a pinch of salt, and you can carry on. There's no need of so much of questioning. But and you have a, because everyone has got so much of time, and you know that if the competition doesn't, you don't take the steps forward in the right time, the competition will take a lead, right? So we all are talking today on the EV part, and you see the lot of development is happening in the EV sector today. We all are in automotive sector now. So if you don't do something and if you delay it, someone sitting somewhere else in some other corner of the world is already doing it,
I'll give
right?
you an
So
example as well. I like the fact that you're bringing up the EV sector. Something that a lot of people, aesthetics of a vehicle, but the exterior. A few years ago, I was mentioning to a few of the directors in the company that we got to be able to change the paint or the color of the car with a switch of a button. I can't just buy a red car and have a red car. And now I want to switch the car, so I got to go buy a new one, or lease a new one or whatever. Today you're seeing BMW
Yes,
launching
yes.
a flick of a button,
Yeah,
So it's you got like you're saying, you got to be ready to respond to that.
yeah.
I was talking about this in 2016, 17, when we were launching
Mhm.
like racing cars and all that, SRT vehicles. And today you have BMW doing it, right? So
Yeah.
where does that leave everybody else? Yeah, tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up and I wanna drive around in a white vehicle. Okay, white
Yeah,
vehicle. Day after
yeah.
tomorrow, it's like, yeah, I want a blue vehicle. Okay, let's change. Blue
Yes,
vehicle. You know
here
what I
you
mean?
are. Yeah.
It's a good point you're bringing up. The change, like everybody's competitive. EVs, of course, is where everybody's headed, but around EVs, there's a lot of other things that are happening as well, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking, people are changing. Um, People are like, uh, making the emblems on vehicles illuminated. You've seen it, right? On various vehicles. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the status is in India right now of that. I haven't looked it up, but I've seen some countries or at least some companies launch like illuminated grills or illuminated emblems, uh,
Yeah.
driving around like a thug. Funny. But okay, anyway, values. I like how we share our automotive and army experiences. It's very real because we can
Thank you,
connect
Shivam.
on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I think that the gist of the value system is there's no need to ask too many questions. Like keep
Yeah.
it simple, is what you're saying, right? Like of course in the
The
army,
seamless,
you follow
the
the chain of
decision
command.
should be seamless. Yeah, we confuse, we get so the focus, you that's how it is. And if that is the focus, you have to bring a car, you go to hit the market, and sometimes we have to be fast. And
Yeah,
the example which you gave is it's done now.
it's done.
There's one company which did it now, and whosoever will be going to do it later is a second company and the third company and the fourth company, because but someone did it, and someone was fast enough.
Right, right,
So
right,
that's what
right.
it is. And
Seamless.
we all
Seamless is the word.
were happy, asking and questioning and refuting and discussing and canceling each other views, and that's how it is. And someone took a stand and someone is there.
Yeah. Honestly, like in my capacity, I don't question too much. I do assess the risk, at least in my mind. I don't have to put it down on paper. You know your gut feeling sometimes. If something just doesn't seem right, you will escalate it if needed. But you don't escalate everything. Otherwise, you're just gonna be sitting there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You can't do that. Okay, I know we're getting forward in this dialogue here. So perception from the civilian sector. This is key because like how does the civilian sector view these people, the, these people meaning soldiers? Are they
yeah,
welcoming?
yeah.
Do they support the transition? Like what's that first or initial few weeks look like these people that you've never known and they've never known
Yeah.
you, like, oh, the captain's coming, uh-oh, we better get disciplined.
No, but it again depends from country to country. I think many countries had have good policies and philosophies for the transition. Many countries they lack it, and many countries have to do a lot to bring them to the mainstream, because soldiers are up there at the borders for most of the countries, and they are happy and they are being respected because they are at the borders.
Right,
When soldiers come back, even there is a lot of disconnect in the families also, because they have only seen you in a portion of the times in the year, right? So now they
right.
get the whole of you, and you're the guy who's a finicky guy, who's a perfectionist, who's a leader to the core, and you want the things to be left in the right, and the core, and
That's such
you
a
understand.
important point. I didn't even think of that. Like, forget the companies or the civilian side. What about your own family?
Yeah, you're not the
Nice.
same guy. You know the mushy kid like who you bulldoze and they will listen to you, because this guy is a different guy now and his brain works differently, and he tackles the adversary in a different way, and he has his muscle memory to how to comprehend the risk situation. Those things are happening, and you're telling him to go to the grocery shop and buy it something because he goes crazy. Like it doesn't happen. Like, so that is one thing, and of course there is gap, and because they don't know you, because uh, these things for any civilian is a extreme level of their conduct. For us it is a normal conduct,
Right.
killing someone, or or even sacrificing yourself is a very normal conduct for a soldier.
Right.
We don't care. You have a drink today and I have a bullet on my head, it's okay. You come to my funeral, and we have the things, it's all okay. We all take it with high regards and honor, and we have the last post being prayed, and we played and we salute, and that's how it is over. But these guys don't understand it, and because they're not taught, they don't know, they have not lived. They might be your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your whatever it is, but they have not lived with you. They don't know what this emotion feels like, right? And it is not a normal emotion that, okay, to getting over that, because that itself, they don't want it to happen. No one wants that to happen, but for us it is every moment we are living like that. So somewhere, we are a bit far from the society, and those things can be brought. But we coming in, so if you ask the question that are you welcome, I'll say no.
Why?
But over the
Why?
period,
What do you think the reason is? Because I've seen this as
as I
well.
mentioned, because the psyche is different, right?
No, even in the companies that you're working at, or
Yeah,
in
of
a
course.
business you're launching and your own, guys you hire. Like,
And it is our thing also, because we take everything as an operation, everything as a target, right? So whatever given to us is has to be done and delivered, but thing doesn't happen here like that.
we need
People,
to relax a
uh,
little bit.
yeah. So that, yeah, that's what it is. We are not guys who relax. We just want to hit the target first, first time correct, first time right, and that's how it is. So somewhere in tandem has to be happening. They have to understand us, we have to understand them. But if I say, we are the guys who can make the efficiency and effectiveness of organization to n times what it is actually.
I agree.
It is, and as I mentioned, the value system, what you asked, it is a dedication.
Hmm.
We
And you
kill
need,
ourselves
yeah,
for the target.
in order to, I guess, like you mentioned the lady that was in your organization, the head or whatever. She asked you to um learn the lingo of the folks first, right? And kind
Yeah,
of immerse
yeah,
with
yeah,
them and then
yeah,
emerge from it.
yeah. So
Interesting.
that's what it is. But the fact is, uh, you have an organization, but we are the guys who take everything given to us too seriously. I not say that the civilian counterpart they don't do it, but for us it is like we even don't mind killing ourselves or getting shot because of that.
Right.
So the conduct is different, the passion is different, the force is different.
Okay.
I think till the time these things, and now the bridges are building, people understand it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it will take time.
I feel like social media is a pretty good influence to bridge.
ah uh, Social media, yeah,
Sometimes,
it is.
sometimes, sometimes.
Yeah, this is only the, if I say, uh, the format available. But I
True.
think till the time we have the people person to person connect, the feelings, uh, otherwise it is bit distance.
No, I agree. Okay.
Social
Yeah.
media, yeah,
I guess it's a
it is
start.
more than that. it is
Yeah. Yeah.
it is more than that.
Mm.
Yeah,
So when I come to Chennai, we're gonna have a person-to-person connect.
of course, yeah.
Okay. I know you mentioned this before, but like I guess in the Indian context, what types of resources, if any, are available to transition into civilian roles when you're exiting your position in the military?
So one is a support from the government. They give you a sort of a transition,
Okay.
which is quite a devised plan, which is already existing. Today, in this last 2 years, I see most of the colleges, or the academia is quite open. Whichever format or background you come from, you can finish your education and you can launch yourself in the corporate world. So things are getting more easy and more open, is what I say. And now they take you as a different profession, and they are more welcome. These things are changing. They allow you to be inside, and yeah. Uh, but less this behavioral aspects, which I say that some focus has to be there. As I say that post traumatic, those things which has to change. I think academia is very open, and uh, once that we develop those skill sets, you come from whichever background, I think it
Mhm.
is easy, you can launch your career post that. Yeah.
Okay. How do you position yourself over the next few years? Once you've moved into a civilian role, like, okay, it's been a year, 2 years, you're into your role in any company or business you're running. Um, how do you how do you see yourself like in the next 3, 4, 5 years? Like, does your I guess I keep asking the same question. You keep saying that, yeah, at my heart, I'm still the olive green, but I won't change. But like over the um in the next 4 or 5 years, how do you position yourself to kind of be more relaxed, I guess is the right word, in the civilian side? Like, do you what do you do? Because
Yeah, so
people will join
this
and
is
they'll quit. People will like leave the military, they'll join a civilian a job or something, or a business, and they won't like it, right? And there's a lot of people like that, and they're gonna be like, okay, I'm done with this. Let me just go with my pension. Screw all of
yeah.
this. But like if you want to endure, right? If you want to stay in it, how do you position yourself?
So I have a normal process. If I tell you, it is simple. We all know it. It is, you have to unlearn a lot of things, and then
Okay.
you have to relearn a lot of things, and you have to learn a lot of things. So that's how it is. But you have to unlearn a lot of things because maybe those skill sets are not required here. But as the previously what I mentioned, that's how you are. You have some different Gucci's and Armani's and whatever, but you are a guy who is simple at heart. It doesn't matter. So I'll keep it like that. So you have to unlearn, you have to learn, you have to
Relearn.
relearn few things, and that's how it is. That's how to make it simple. But if it's a few years down the line, wheresoever we are, and either we are in civil or we're in corporate, life teaches you, and that's how you should grow. But yes, one thing which you mentioned, that we have to take it with ease, with a pinch of salt, to relax a bit, and that's how I think it is. Life happens. Yeah.
Are you open to sharing your experiences with your colleagues in your day-to-day business? Like, I'm sure people
Many
ask you
times I
questions,
see,
right?
yeah. So many, see, I see, to be honest, uh, uh, you would not mind sharing, but actually they don't know such humans.
Oh,
In most of the families, you don't have guys from the forces. Yeah.
right.
Till the time you have some specific regions, I don't know different places in the world how it is, but in most of the families you don't have guys in the forces, because you have again a statement here that you like people to sacrifice, but the neighbors should sacrifice their soldiers, their sons as soldiers, not you as your own family. uh, so what I say is uh, this is what I'll position it here, that yes, it is a subtle thing, but yeah, this is what I feel today, to be honest.
Okay. Let's conclude this last 2 points here. Any suggestions or experiences that you'd like to share with us? As we come towards the end of this, like any suggestions for folks that may be thinking about this change, or any further experiences that you'd like to share so that others can learn, because you mentioned that you like to transfer your knowledge, right? From
Yeah. So I'll
army.
make it simple. I'll reiterate what I mentioned in the beginning, that if you think that your passion is becoming a profession, then please drive ways. Your first love, if I have to tell you, cannot be a routine one. It has to be kept in very high regards.
Right.
So if somehow you feel that you are doing something because it pays you money, army is happening because army is paying you money. Sorry, it is you did not join army for that. You join army for something else. So that is one thing. And if the same passion is alive, please continue. Don't think that grass is greener at the other side. No, please continue whatever you're doing, because here also, when the midlife crisis will hit you, you'll start thinking something else, and that's how life is. So that's why I say I keep it very simple. Your passion cannot become your profession, because it is, uh, if you're earning your livelihood with that, it's okay. I'm telling you, it cannot be diluted. No, that's
Mm-hmm.
what I mentioned.
Okay. Your new book. Do you have a title yet?
Yes, I
Can
went
you
two
disclose the
steps
title?
further.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm quite okay. I think I have to check uh, how it comes across. But yes, the title is almost like Life Decoded.
Okay.
And the last book was talking about sacrifice, people, togetherness, army. This one is more into the life, the learning of life, and our conduct. That's how it is.
Oh, so it's basically, I guess, some of the stuff we've talked about here is reflected in the book as well. How do you conduct
Yeah.
yourself? You know
Yes.
how the life is, and okay.
Yeah.
Anything that the reader should be prepared for? Any surprises that you're open to share?
No, so you have to relax. You have to. Okay, one thing, if I tell you, that book will transform you. You will
Okay.
not be what you once you take the book, and you'll not be the same guy once you finish the book. So you'll be a completely different person. Uh, uh, Again, Indian context, we are quite spiritual people. We are. I'll not. Be shy in telling that we are quite arrived in life in terms of the genesis which comes across, and India has given a lot of concepts and thinking to the west and east and whatever we say. So all the learnings comes from those heavy religious books,
I agree.
those understandings which are already done. But at least I'm trying to connect it with the current people, with the Gen Z's and the millennials, that we take it like the way it is, because those books which were written, the books of religion, it was written long time back, and the way
You're
we are
talking about
conducting
the
our life.
Sanatan Dharam, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So
so have you been reading the scriptures and relating to
yes,
them?
I finished reading all the religious books, not only Sanatan Dham,
Amazing.
all the religions which they have, that so-called conducting philosophical books which they have, either Bible or Quran or whatever. So I took the best out of it. I just churned it out, make it together, and I have just put it in a simple word. Because these books are quite complex, and till the time you are in that stage of mind, you cannot comprehend it. So
I
I made
agree.
it quite simple. That is what it is. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, when you're looking at launching the book, last question.
So I'm quite. So this is one thing. I should have launched it before last year. I'm late already. So this quarter, I don't think in March, but maybe before March, I think it should be launched. Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to be available on Amazon and all that
Of course, yes.
everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Captain. We had a lot of questions. It went over 1 hour, or 1 hour 10 minutes actually today. We went over your book that you've written, The Fallen Few. I'm going to show it on video again, guys. Buy it if you want. It's a very good read. Fallen Few, together they lived and died together. Okay. And then we've talked about the transitions from military to civilian, the skill sets, the values. You've mentioned integrity. You've mentioned that we need to learn how to relax a little bit. The resources that are available, and then obviously this new book that you're talking about that you claim will change people. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Shubham.
we're going to host you again once that book launches and once I'm done reading it.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All
Sure.
right. Thanks, guys.
Great to connect, Shubham, and a great initiative, Shubham. I must congratulate you, and keep on changing life of people, and keep on connecting people. Let's be together to make this world a better place to be. And in this wave three, we all are together. I wish my viewers happiness and good health, and wish you all happy new year, and God bless you all. Take care, Shubham. Nice to connect as ever,
Thank
and give
you.
my best regards to family too.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Thank you.
We're gonna stop
Bye.
recording this now.
Thank you.
Okay.
I leave.
Yep.